What is up, guys? Welcome in. My name is Nick and welcome to the channel and welcome to Forza Motorsport, and you join me at the back of the grid at the new 2 update 11 Road Atlanta. We're not going anywhere apparently. So yeah, we're just going to have a quick discussion on a few bits that I wanted to talk about update 11 and how it's going so far. Obviously we're in the GT4. This is the Ginetta, because I love the Ginetta. Long-term people of the channel will know my love of the Ginetta and all things Ginetta. I've got to stop saying that word, it's going to lose all meaning. We're just going to fly around at the outside of everyone, apparently, coming through the S's here. So yeah, I just thought I would do a little race and give you a quick chat. There's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One, amazing to have this track in. I absolutely love this track. It's been a while since Atlanta's been in Forza. It's well, I say it's been a while. It was in the last game. It's taken a while to actually appear in this one. Go on the inside of the KTM, and yeah, it's a fantastic track. It is amazing. It is just so conducive to good racing in all levels, whether it's slow or fast cars. It's a fantastic track. There's there's sort of complex little corners where you've got a sort of it's all about grip and aero, and then there's other stuff that is a bit more sort of just mechanical grip related. It's really good for overtaking, it's good for close racing. It's just a fantastic track, and I'm very glad it is finally in this game. Now, the other part that I wanted to talk about is the actual lobby that we're in at the moment, the GT4s. Now, I am a massive fan of GT4s. I prefer them to GT3s. So we'll slide around to the outside of that KTM there. Okay. Apparently we're not stopping for that corner. Let's try that again. Yeah, so I'm a massive fan of GT4s. I mean, I like sort of the slower end of motorsport stuff anyway. GT3s are a bit too... I don't know, a bit too aero dependent, a bit too quick. Well, not too quick, but you know what I mean. They're just like, they're also very played out. Like everyone and every game races GT3s basically, or equivalent. You got Le Mans Ultimate GTLMs, which are ostensibly GT3s with a slight bit of changing and no traction control and ABS. I just prefer GT4s, to be honest. They're a little bit slower, they're just more interesting. Slower cars give you a better chance for racing because there's less of a delta gap between the quickest and the slowest people, really. When you have the slower cars, even a quick person in a slow car is still... it's not going to be disappearing down the road as much as a quick person in a quicker car. You see what I mean? Like the scope of quick versus slow, the banding is a lot tighter, so you won't there's just less seconds difference between the quickest and the slowest people, basically. I got off track for using the pit exit, apparently. It's been awesome since I've seen that. Didn't realise that was a thing, but okay. Didn't realise that was still a thing. Definitely not a thing at this track, but anyway, we shall endeavour to persevere. We're just doing a little bit of a recovery drive after we got taken out by the KTM earlier on. We're going to send up the inside of the guy here. It's not really a good corner to overtake on, but we'll see what happens. No. Yeah, he carried in too much speed anyway, so we're just going to catch him on the exit. We carried too much speed into that one. So yeah, as I say, I bloody earpiece keeps falling out at the wrong fucking time. I love GT4s. They're fantastic. The main problem that I have with them being in Forza is we have 2 of them, and that does not really make a race, or does not a race series make. Okay, no, I forgot to brake. That's my bad. We're just gonna. This is just a not. Ignore the calibre of racing in this one. It's not fantastic, it must be said. I'm busy having a conversation with you while driving. We weren't doing well up until the point we got killed for no goddamn reason. But yes, there are 3 available cars, and 2 of them are GT4s. We have the Ginetta that I'm in, the G55. and the KTM Crossbow GT4. The other car you can choose from is an Audi TT, which is not a GT4 car. It's equivalent on performance, and they have balanced it relatively well, as Forza is pretty good at doing. In all fairness, they are pretty good at balancing the cars. There are some that are inherently stronger, cough Audi, in the touring cars anyway. What? No, okay. Didn't need to go that far around the car, but fine. So there are some, obviously, standout broken cars. The Audi R8 from when the game launched for touring cars and touring cars for GT, and the Audi A3 for touring cars immediately stand out. But on the whole, other than a couple of outliers, it's pretty good. The delta between the fastest and the slowest is pretty tight. It's not a GT4 car. Christ, I was absolutely murdered then. So, in all honesty, I don't know why this hopper is here. Least of all for a week long as a single mate, like a single class, in a multi-class event, like week thing that's going on. So why didn't release LMP, like put this as a multi-class thing? It's like, yeah, sure, if you want to run GT4s, run it as a multi-class thing with like the P2s, like they do in actual racing, where you get LMP2 and GT4 racing. I just don't understand why they thought it was a good idea to release a week-long race series, mixing between long and medium-length tracks, so 15 to 30-minute long races, and have 3 available cars. It just doesn't really make much sense, to be honest. And I'm saying this as someone who's wanted to use the Ginetta as a GT4 car since they had released it. But it's just not the time to have a GT4 lobby. Like, you need things like the BMW, the AMG, the R8, the Porsche Cayman, yeah. Cayman? Yes, Porsche Cayman. The Toyota Supra, the Cabero, the Corvette, the Alpine, the Lotus, the McLaren. Like, there are loads of GT4s out there in the wild for Forza to add. Yes, licensing aside, obviously, I know that is going to be an issue. But even still, to release a GT4 hopper and GT4 week-long race series with 3 cars in it is just not... well, to coin an English phrase, it's just not cricket. Like, it just doesn't... I don't get it. I just don't get it. You're going to alienate probably the biggest group of people still actually on this game in the GT racers. And I'm not the only one saying this. I mean, this is partly prompted from Erratic's video saying how Turn 10 are ruining their own game, which in a lot of his points were incredibly fair and incredibly valid. But I just don't get it. I just don't get why you would spend... I mean, it's happening twice in this patch cycle as well. It's happening in the final week. And we're not getting any more cars releasing through this patch cycle, so I just don't... It's... yeah. I don't know. Just doesn't make sense to me why they thought it was a good idea. I mean, the racing's been good, other than obviously the little bit of scrappiness here and the fact I'm not driving particularly well, because I'm busy having a conversation with you guys. It's not terrible racing. The lobbies are a little bit dead. I've had a couple of ones which we've had like I don't know, 12 to 15 people in it. I've not had a full lobby in GT4s yet. But from my understanding on most of the categories for this patch cycle, a lot of them are dead. I don't personally see why. I think multi-class racing is fantastic, and it is very, very good. And generally, I've done a couple. The caliber of racing in it has been very, very good. Surprisingly good for Forza. Like, this is the first race I've actually been punted out for. I don't really know how long, to be honest. And I think I'll put that down to just the guy not knowing the track, because it's the new track and wasn't expecting me to brake there. Like, it was annoying, but I'm not blaming the guy for doing it. It was probably an accident. There's no point in me getting annoyed by it. What's that going to do? So, yeah, I just wish they hadn't sort of blown their load on this. Pardon my French. Now, basically, I think if you'd have let this simmer for next couple of patches, you sneak in a couple of GT4s, and even if you had four GT4 cars is not a lot, but realistically, in the touring cars, you're not going to see many more than 4 or 5 different models. No one's really running the Astra unless they're sort of sadists like me. Lash, I know, drives it as well, but I'm pretty sure he'll be first to admit he's a sadist when it comes to certain sort of things as well. And obviously we do it for the content as well, so there is an extra element of, I'm going to make my life more difficult because it could lead to a funny moment. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just seems like a waste of GT4, and now if you bring this back out again later, we're going to go, oh, GT4 was rubbish last time. Doesn't matter what you do with it. I mean, adding more cars will probably help. Might draw up a bit more hype for it, but to me as a racing character, GT4 as like a race series is a much more interesting or much more enticing series for me to drive. If we were going to have like a custom season or whatever, then I would love it to be in GT4s. I much prefer them on GT3s, as I said. But I mean, I'm talking myself round in circles at this point. But I think at this point, after about 10 minutes of me rambling about the same fucking thing, you probably understand where I'm coming from now, or at least I hope you do. But yeah, I mean, circling back around to my original topic off top, this track's fantastic. Like it drives really well. You can abuse the curbs in the right places, which was a stickler for some of the earlier tracks like Kyle Army. You still can't really use the curbs as you would want to and can in real life. These ones, I'll just go all the way over there. There's no fear of loss of traction. Need to make sure I go in the pit lane. Just hoping that was going to make me go right there. Cool, so let me just get a new set of tyres. We're going to go with some softs. We're going to skip fuel. Nice short pit lane here as well. And yeah, it's just a great track. It's been long awaited. It's kind of, it was weird not to see it in the launch one because it's been in every Forza up until this point. And yeah, it was definitely inconspicuous by its omission, let's put it that way. It was very obvious that it wasn't on the list, and people were like, brr? Give it the old Scooby-Doo, what's going on? Or the old GTA 1. But yeah, it's just a really, really good track, and it's been done really, really well. Still tricky trying to balance the car through these S's here, and then having the car stable enough that you can grab it and go through there using all that curb in there. As I said, that is actually the racing line on this track. You have to use all that curb to keep any form of momentum coming out of there. I get that corner wrong every goddamn time. But yeah, it's just, say, it's a real, for me, I mean, I've never been at the track. I've raced it in iRacing. I mean, iRacing doesn't look anything like this. It's very much more beige, bland. Like, it's very much washed out kind of thing. This is a much more interesting area to inhabit. There's a lot more visual fidelity going on with it, and yeah, I personally, I think it has been done very, very well. Especially when you remember that for all of its flaws, Turn 10 are giving us all this stuff for free. It's not, I mean, there are Forzas in the past where you pay for tracks. Paying for tracks has not been, I mean, it's not a foreign concept for racing games. It's like, it's quite a common practice, is that if you want to race on different tracks, you have to pay for it. I mean, look at iRacing, for fuck's sake. You got to pay 15 quid a track on that thing, if I remember right, or a tenner or whatever. You got to pay a lot of money for the track, anyway. Glad I didn't get a penalty for that, considering the guy was kind of out of control. And yeah, I say it's, I don't know, I think people are, I've seen a lot of people saying that they're getting a bit fed up with Forza, which is understandable. There are bugs. I personally haven't encountered any of them. I know Erratic has. I'm not one for using other people's tunes. I generally build all the tunes myself because of using the wheel I need control over the force feedback, sensitivity and power and stuff for the car, so I generally just tune the cars myself. Probably would be quicker if I used someone else who knew what they're doing to tune, but I don't honestly care all that much, to be honest. I'm more about having fun first and being quick second. Obviously being quick is fun in a lot of cases, but I don't put my finishing position at the sort of paramount into my enjoyment of the game, because otherwise you find yourself, you spend a lot of time not really having fun. If you're only having fun when you're having a good race, you're kind of limiting your ability to have fun. So I have as much fun racing for 12th as I do racing for second if the racing calibre is good. If we're having close battles, respect is given, no one's driving into each other, no one's running each other off the road. That's probably the best I've had that corner done in a while. See if we can jump in the slipstream here for these two. Oh, it's the last lap. Okay, so don't worry, my inane rambling is going to come to an end in a second. I don't think we're going to be able to get the podium in this one, unfortunately. It's a little bit too much to do, especially after we got taken out and then took ourselves out, because, you know, we're just that clever. But I'm pretty sure we've got some of the quickest times this race. Yeah, I don't want to rub him off the road. He was not really giving me any room on the apex, even though I was alongside, but we'll skirt over that. That's it is what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, we got P4 and not quite the quickest lap, to be fair. The guy in first did actually do a phenomenally quick lap, to be fair. And it was also a Ginetta friend. Again, this is part of the reason that you see that there's an issue with the limited amount of car pools, is it's just a Ginetta or crossbow, which, to be fair, there's more Ginettas in this lobby than I've seen in the few other lobbies I've done in GT4. So, yeah, this is part of the problem. Like, it's like a head-to-head rather than a race lobby kind of thing, but, you know, I just think they went off a bit too early when it came to this GT4 lobby. Thank you. But anyway, that is my rambling done, guys. If you want to see some more interesting fun in this season, patch 11, whatever we are on, update 11 they call it, check out the video up on screen now. That is the one where we were doing the multi-race. That is the first lobby that opened after the update, so very interesting there. And yeah, drop me a comment, let me know you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.